Hey guys, Dr. Jason Torado here. First visit mistakes that chiropractors make. So I'll tell you something that, I honestly love helping out chiropractors. I've been doing this I've been a coach for over 6 years now. And I just love helping chiropractors just kind of get it right and prevent making mistakes. And, I feel that one of the biggest secrets that chiropractors really just don't get is that they have to understand that when they create more value for their patients, they make more money. I mean, that's really it. So what you have to learn is, how do you create more value for your patients? And so one of my challenges is to get each guy that I coach. One of the biggest challenges that I have is to just try to get them to think a little bit differently. Because I truly believe that if I can get each individual chiropractor to think differently, well, then over time, I could probably change the entire profession. Like that's a little old me just thinking that way, but I truly believe it, that you got to start with one person. And it's the same thing with your practice, right? You've got to treat one patient really good in order to be able to treat all of your patients really, really well. And so I would probably say that, and this is, don't hate me for this, right? But I have haters out there anyway, so that's cool. I would say that out of 8 out of 10 chiropractic owners that I speak to, I would say 8 of them have no clue on what they're doing, honestly. And that's even guys and girls that have coaches, right? Or that's even guys that have associated for many years, right? And so I find that whenever I talk to them and I ask them, I'm like, hey, why are you doing this? They'll usually say, well, because that's the way it was taught to me, and that's the way everybody's doing it, and so that's the way I do it, right? And so look, that's not a defense, right? Just because everybody's doing it that way doesn't mean that it's the right way. I mean, really, but I think what happens is they do it that way because maybe they see 1 or 2 guys that are actually successful doing it, and so they think, well, then it's got to work for me. And look, that's just insane. That's just insane, right? You need to do things because they work, and they work all the time. And so, just because something's been done the same way for years does not necessarily mean that you should keep doing it. Like, for example, healthcare classes. I see so many doctors teaching healthcare classes, chiropractic healthcare classes, and teaching education to patients on their first visit, or they make it mandatory to come to a healthcare class and bring your spouse. I mean, what? That is just, oh my God, that is so old school, and that is just so nuts. Trying to push something like that on the first visit, it's so old school. It's crazy chiropractic indoctrination. And so think about it for a second. Here's how a lot of chiropractors process their patients. And this may be you, it may not be. All right, the first visit, they come in and they're handed, a clipboard with 5, 10, 15. I've seen in doctors 20 pieces of paper, 20 pieces of paperwork. I mean, it's really crazy. Right? And then when they're done with that, filling out the paperwork after a half hour, they go over to the doctor's consultation room, a special consultation room, and they talk to the doctor for 10 to 15 minutes, and do this special consultation. And then when they're done with the consultation, they bring them over to an exam room, right? And they do another 15 to 20-minute exam on their patient. I mean, just whatever. They do the orthopedic, the neurological, the range of motion, all these things. Right? And then what they do is they move them over to another room and they take x-rays on the patient. And they don't do like one area of the neck. They'll do full spine, or they'll do a full Davis series of the neck. I mean, a full Davis series. I don't even think radiologists know what a Davis series is. That's strictly chiropractic. And then what they'll do when they're all done, assuming they adjust them on the first visit, and a lot of chiropractors don't even adjust on the first visit, which guy comes in pain. You're not going to adjust them on the first visit, try to get them out of pain. You're going to send them home in more pain. I don't really get that. But what they'll do is they'll send them home to schedule them for their report of findings. Now, there's more though. There's more. But wait, there's more. Some doctors will actually have their and I'm saying this because I've gone through these practice management companies. I have gone through all these procedures and done them all myself. Sometimes they'll do is they'll hand them a a new patient brochure, and they'll leave the room. They'll say, read this brochure. I'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk about what's on the brochure. And of course, it has to do with subluxation theory or something along those lines, right? Or what they'll do is they'll have them watch a video. Watch a video at a chiropractor's office. You know, they'll say, watch this video before I come back. I want you to watch it. And the video is chiropractic education. And the video talks about long-term health care. The video talks about wellness care. And of course, the video talks about subluxation, vertebral subluxation. Look, I'm not against vertebral subluxation. I'm not against, going to a chiropractor for a long time. I'm not against educating patients. I'm not. But on the first visit, really, there's a better way. Don't do things just because it's been done a certain way for many, many years. That's crazy, right? Showing a video on the first visit makes no sense. And then let's talk about charges. Right? I see some doctors that they'll charge. Sometimes they'll just give away the farm. It's $29 first visit, $39 first visit, $49 first visit. Look, who does that? The Joint does that. The Joint. Really, the Joint offers $49 first visits, $29 first visits as an introductory price, right? That's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is they charge $300-$400 per visit. Why? Well, because the insurance pays for it. The patient's got great insurance, so I might as well bill out the top of the fee schedule for that particular insurance. Look, people do that. Maybe it's you, I don't know, but that there are doctors that are out there that are really raping insurance companies. That's just what they're doing. And so, look, this is not a good method, either way, whether you charge too little or too much, it doesn't work. It's not a good way, it's not a good practice. It's not a good procedure for patients that first walk inside your office. And so you have to realize that most of these methods, maybe you don't realize it, but most of these methods are not going to attract patients. They're not designed to attract patients. These methods are really designed to repel patients. And that's the indoctrination that chiropractors are learning every day. And so look, it's complicated, really, and it's what to do on the first visit. I would suggest is that you try to do things that compel people, that attract people, that make your patients feel comfortable, not push them away. And so I think that your first visit in your chiropractic office should not be an hour and a half of time. I think your first visit should be maybe 30 to 45 minutes, tops. Maybe 5-10 minutes to fill out paperwork, and then maybe another 10-15 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes for an exam and a consultation, or maybe 20 minutes for the exam and consultation, and then maybe another 5-minute adjustment, or maybe a little bit longer. Really, 35 to 45 minutes should be the first, your ideal sweet spot for your first visit. And really try to, as far as education is concerned, look, I know that you've been indoctrinated. You want to educate your patients on the first visit. Okay, fine. A little bit of education is not a bad thing, but over-educating a patient, trying to teach them, about the germ theory and how medicines hide, mask symptoms. Really, don't get into that. Don't get into that. Really, just try to keep things simple with your patients. Stay in the moment. Just take it one day at a time. Really. Take it one day at a time. If you're doing a 3 or 4 day report of findings, come on, really, 3 or 4 day report of findings. How long does it take for you to explain to a patient what's wrong with them? Whatever it is. Hey, you've got this disc. It's out of place. And I'm oversimplifying this, right? You've got a nerve that's pinched inside your lower back, and that nerve radiates down into your leg, which is causing a symptom called sciatica. That's it. I'm going to get you adjusted today to try to get to realign that spinal vertebrae and to try to take a little pressure off of that nerve. That's it. How long does it take to be able to say something like that? 4 days? It just took me 30 seconds. Really, maybe 5 minutes. A 5-minute report of findings is all you really need. So be careful with your fees on your first day. I find that you can certainly charge a lot of money for your first visit, but I find that anywhere between try not to go over $100 on your first visit. It's again, it's just my opinion, but try not to go over $100 on your first visit, and try to make sure that your charges include your exam and your adjustment, really. And if you've got to take some, and maybe you could even include X-rays in that fee. Maybe you don't take 10 X-rays, maybe you take 2 X-rays. That's it. But really try to keep your fees relatively affordable on that first visit. You don't make your money on your first visit. Chiropractors really aren't supposed to make their money on the first visit. You make your money over time, right, on building a relationship with your patient. Really, that's how you make your money. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not suggesting that you offer lifetime care or long-term care plans. No, I'm suggesting that you offer a short-term care plan. Because if you offer a short-term care plan, which is congruent with what your patient wants, they're going to want to keep coming. Really, and they're going to want to keep coming and use you as their chiropractor and refer to you as their chiropractor and be proud to be able to refer to you as their chiropractor, refer their friends and their family to you. Really, that's what happens. And when you can do that, when you can achieve that, you'll end up with raving fans. You really will, and your practice will blossom, and you will make money. You'll make plenty of money. You really will, over time. So don't try to bang your patient out on the first visit. There's no reason to. In order to be able to ask for $100 and to be able to keep your patients happy and to be able to just satisfy your patient, is to make sure that the experience, that first day visit, is going to be a good experience for them. So in order to do that, you really have to take a hard look at the office. Take a look at your office appearance, right? Is it congruent with what they expect, right? Or are there nice pictures on the walls? Is the paint chipped, or is there nice paint on the walls? Is the carpet fresh? Are the chairs plastic chairs, or are they nice chairs where they sit in? You really have to make sure that everything inside your office is congruent with what your patients expect. You've got to make sure that your staff is really dressed professionally. Very, very important. You've got to make sure that even you've got to look, you can't wear a t-shirt like I'm wearing right now. I like wearing a white lab coat with a shirt and a tie underneath. I think that is just professional looking. And I believe that's what patients are looking for. Can you wear a golf shirt? Absolutely, you can wear a golf shirt. But do I believe that it's better to wear a white lab coat? Yeah, I do. I just think that you're going to get a better response, right? I think that you're going to get a better response if you look like you're in shape rather than looking like you're 30 or 40 or 50 pounds overweight. I believe that if you're shaved properly, or if you've got a beard and it's properly trimmed, I believe that appearance is important to your patient when they first come in. I think that the quality of the overall experience inside your office is extremely important, and you must exceed your patient's expectations, especially on that first visit. Should you do it on subsequent visits? Absolutely. But especially on that first visit, to make them feel more comfortable so that they can stay in your office, pay in your office, and refer plenty of their family and friends. And so think about that. Your entire lifetime value of your patient, which could be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I don't know. It could, it can be a lot of money, right? All of that really just hinges on that first visit that you have with your patient. So you better make sure that you got your ducks in a row. You better make sure that your price is right, your message is right, and you are right, and the office looks right. Okay, guys, I hope this makes sense. Look, I don't say this to upset anybody. I'm just speaking truth, what I know, 30 years in practice. This is what I've learned to be true. And the truth sometimes hurts. So if I've offended anybody, I apologize, but I certainly hope that you guys take this criticism constructively. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm Dr. Tirado. If any of this struck a nerve and I can help you out with your practice, by all means, shoot me a message below. Or if you want to find out more about my program, you can go to chirohackerlab.com. And that's it for today, guys. Peace.